And what is your name?
Hi, my name is Evan Brown.
Evan Brown. And can you talk a little bit about what we're looking at here? What are we looking at here?
You're looking at about 23 years of obsessive compulsion. Yeah, it started out as just finding one figure that was pretty neat, turned into, oh, maybe I should get this one. What about this one? What about this one? And just kept going.
Cool. And let's see, what is your count at this point? Like, how many toys do you think you have?
Do I think I...
If you have the ballpark it.
Several thousand.
Oh, yeah. That looks right.
I know... Yeah. At one point I was doing some counting and I only got about halfway through and I was at about 700 at that point. And that was about 8 years ago.
Oh, cool. Awesome. And when do you think this started? Like, what, just during your childhood years or your adult years? Or when is like, you just really like, you know what, I'm gonna start collecting these?
When I was young, I do remember I was young in the 80s when Transformers first came out. So I was there at the exact right age for their advertisements. I was exactly their target audience. So I really wanted to watch the show all the time. I was always watching the show. I was always wanting to get the toys, but they were expensive and they were hard to get. So I got what I could, and the show came, the show went, I grew up, I grew older, and then I just stopped for a long time. And many years later, I was hanging out with my friends who, they all smoked and they all drank coffee all the time, and I didn't do either, but I wanted to see my friends. So I would go over to what was Borders Coffee, where they would go and they'd have the cigarettes and drink coffee. And right next to that was Toys R Us. And one day I was sick of talking to them. I went, "You guys are smelly, I'm leaving." And so I got up and I went over to Toys R Us. I probably did say that actually. But I went over to Toys R Us and I just wandered around for a little bit. And I found, I think, it was this exact figure here, which is a Beast Wars Transmetal Cheetor.
What year was that? Probably like what year?
This should have been about 98.
Okay.
98, 90, right around there. Kind of want to double check that time frame, but
yeah,
that's about it. 98, 99. No, it couldn't have been 90. Anyway, so yeah, so I found this guy and I started fiddling around with him, and I noticed I was a lot more technical minded at the time. And I noticed, I'm just gonna rip his arm off, that they use these ball joints, and I thought that was really kind of neat because the original toys, the ones I grew up with in the 80s, these guys, they didn't have that technology. So if you pulled a little bit too hard on the arm, your toy was destroyed, which is what happened to a lot of mine and my friends' toys. So I sat there for a really long time going, oh, the engineering of this is really cool. This is really cool. I'm gonna go check out another one. So then I went and I bought another, and then I bought another, and then another, and then I started going to conventions, and here we are with you asking me why I have this many, and it's because my friends drank and smoked.
Okay, great. Let's talk about the toy you found that you were particularly fond of and you wanted to talk about a little bit about.
I don't have many of my original figures. A lot of them didn't survive. But I got this guy. His name is Hubcap. Hubcap here. Hubcap I bought in probably 1985. 85? Yeah, that seems about right. 84, 85. And what I actually wanted to buy is this guy right here. Bumblebee. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to buy Bumblebee. And I went to the store with my mom or dad. I don't remember who it was. Probably my mom, I think. And I went over and I bought a Bumblebee. And I was super excited. I opened up the package and immediately this wheel fell off. And I went, oh. So we brought it back in and said, hey, this guy broke. can we get a new one? They said, yeah, sure. Sorry about that. Got another one, opened it up, same wheel fell off. I didn't do anything. It wasn't like a kid just going, rah! Something was wrong. So then I went back in again. And either because I was like, I don't trust Bumblebee anymore, or because they were out of Bumblebee, I ended up getting this guy, Hubcap, who is very similar, but it's not the character from the show. Hubcap is a different car when he transforms, and he's a different robot completely. But he was my Bumblebee for my youth, and he was my little yellow car, and somehow he survived.
That's your first one.
It's my first memory one, first one that I can remember. I don't remember if I had other guys before.
And this is the original toy.
This is an original.
Oh.
Yeah, any of these things, they're all from the early 80s and very early 90s. These guys.
Let's see another question. From what do you see yourself in the next 5-10 years with this collection? What do you think? What would you like to see done with it, or would you like to do, grow from this into what would you like to see yourself in 10 years with this collection? Will it be growing still? Will you like to stop at it, or maybe put into some I want to put this on YouTube? What do you think?
I don't know. This came about as just a love for the product. Just went, this is really fun, and then going, oh wow, that's a rare one. I got my hands on this into some weird psychological thing. I have no goal. There's no goal involved here. I still collect them. I got one in the mail yesterday. Mm-hmm. And it's still growing, but I need to stop at some point. And I need to sell a bunch of guys. I have doubles, triples, quadruples of some guys that I've just acquired. So I would like to focus the collection into something a little better than it has been. Because this is 23 years of just going, ooh, I don't have this, and what's going on here. So yeah, I don't really have a goal. At some point, yes, I'll probably sell it all and make a quarter of what I put into it if I'm lucky. Some guys are worth a lot of money. Some guys are worth not even close to what I paid.
Yeah. Okay, cool.